All right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to what is a daily recap here. Of course, I am BreakyCPK, excited to be here. Now, I'm not actually live streaming today, but I wanted to go through the effort, at least, of doing a daily recap. So much has been happening, so I figured it was at least good to get this out on my YouTubes there, rather than just not do anything at all when it comes to it. So, unfortunately, this last couple of days I've been a little bit too busy to be able to live stream. In fact, a couple of nights, yesterday being Thursday, that is, what is January 5th, I actually did not stream either because I was up until, what was it, nearly 10 a.m. in the morning. I did not get any sleep overnight because I was casting some Chinese region Dota, which actually I'll talk about here in just a second, of course, on this daily recap here. But point is, I'm not here to make excuses. Just simply put, unfortunately, I've been a little bit too busy to get some live streams, but I wanted to, again, to at least get a daily recap out here for you guys. So what is today? January 6th, 2017. There's plenty to talk about, so let's get right into it here as far as what is going on. So the first thing is pretty obvious here when it comes to it. Of course, that referring to the ESL Genting. Yesterday I found that it's pronounced Genting. I always thought it was Genting this whole time, but apparently it's Genting. Anyways, ESL 1 Genting 2017. It officially kicked off over the night. A $250,000 tournament, of course. This really is being considered the first major LAN since 7.0. Now, there was a LAN, what was it, last weekend or the weekend before that or something like that was post 7.0. Very, very fresh after the patch, but again, it was only a 4-team tournament. It was invite only, and it was actually very, very small as far as limited amount of matches too. So I think I kind of agree that this is really the first big, serious major LAN event, legitimate even, you could even argue, in the end. So, but to say the least, things turned out to be pretty interesting as expected. Now, I did not get the chance to personally watch a whole lot myself. I watched the kickoff match, but after staying up the night before and having things to do today, which again is why I'm not streaming actually, busy running errands and whatnot, I unfortunately was not able to stay up all night. I'm an old guy, so I was not able to stay up all night and had to actually resort to looking at some results right here. But some results interesting, to say the least. So we so far have a team out of each group. We need to find out one more team. They're doing what's the GSL format, actually, of the group stages. So, of course, there's 2 groups, 4 teams in each group. We got Newbie, Virtus Pro, NP, and Fnatic in Group A, Digital Chaos, Wings Gaming, and Warriors Gaming Unity, and Execration over in Group B. And you look at how the results turned out so far. Newbie from Group A going undefeated. In fact, well, I guess they did drop a match against Virtus Pro in a 3-game series, taking it the distance, dropping that second game right there, but ultimately winning the series, thus advancing onto the playoff format of the event. VP will have to face off against the winner of NP Fnatic, which I believe takes place later tonight, if I'm not mistaken, for this tournament here. But so Newbie from Group A, the team to advance, and then out of Group B, we're looking at DC, Digital Chaos, doing a run here. And from what I heard, this match against Wings Gaming ended up being pretty damn good. For Digital Chaos. I mean, both teams obviously played very, very well. You see all matches 40-plus minutes, which I feel is actually pretty long for 7.0. Now, there's been a mix of the length of matches for sure, as always, but I feel like the majority has been in maybe that 30-minute range or just under even. So it feels like there's been some pretty quick matches for the most part. But, again, these two teams had a pretty epic series, it looks like. We even saw some Meepo play in that Game 1 in the hands of over there, Weehaw, even for DC. I know he played that earlier in the tournament as well, so kind of interesting. This in a losing effort, but obviously they had the last laugh as they take the series 2-1. So Digital Chaos coming out of Group B and into the playoffs right here. So, again, every other team is still in the tournament, but that continues on tonight, where Fnatic will play NP. I believe it's a 1-game series. Oh, no, it is best of 3, actually. So they are going to be playing best of 3 all the way out throughout the rest of it. So that's good to see. Execration and WG Unity is the other matchup. A kind of interesting one, obviously, battle Southeast Asian teams going at it. From Group B over here, I'm leaning towards Warrior Gaming Unity, though. This is a team that's very, very good. They really showed up at Boston Major somewhat, ultimately got knocked out, earlier on in the brackets. I believe they got knocked out in the round of 16, if I'm not mistaken. But point is, this is a team that definitely has potential to be pretty good, and I would expect them to take over Execration here. Execration is a solid team themselves, but I know that they like many teams, are going through some roster changes as of late. So, but we'll see how that one plays out. And then I got to, of course, like NP over in the Group A side. Fnatic talk about a roster change. Obviously, Mushi and Ohio, the players that remain. But as far as the other three new players, In Your Dream, Febi, and Yamate, actually new players that joined the team going into this tournament. And I believe Yamate is actually a stand-in. He's not even technically going to be their new fifth. He's just simply playing for them here in this event because they needed somebody. So, anyways, it'll be fun to see how this turns out here, and it continues into tonight. And I don't know if they're going to play all the way through tonight. It doesn't look like it. Okay, so January 8th. So it looks like these matches take place tonight, finishing off the groups, and then the following night on what is Saturday evening going into Sunday will be the finals, of course. Will be the playoffs, that is. Both the semifinals and then the grand finals here, which is set to be a best of 5, it looks like. So $250,000 prize pool on the line. I believe every team gets a share of that. Yeah, well, it's only $5,000 for 7th day, so not the most, but still, it's money in the end. Obviously, all the way up to $125,000 for that first place prize. Pretty heavy on the top side there. I always like to see that. So ESL 1 Genting, really excited again to see how that shapes up here from good old Malaysia, the Genting Highlands. It seems like it's a pretty cool area there with the atmosphere and everything, and it seems like the crowd actually is pretty legit there, and just also like outside, they've been doing some footage of the outside and stuff, and how then these mountaintops, and there's all foggy and everything. It's a pretty cool setting. It's pretty cool. It'd be fun to be able to go to some place like that, it seems like, in the future. But so that's ESL 1 Genting. Another event that's currently taking place now. A couple things to talk about this one here. We'll actually start with the Chinese region because this is the one that's wrapped up, and I actually got the chance to cast the finals. And by finals, I mean 2 different series that were quote-unquote finals because the top 2 teams now advance on to the main event. So this was for the Chinese qualifiers. But thanks to BTS, they were looking for a caster, and I got in touch with them and was able to be the official caster on the Star Ladder stream and everything. So I had a lot of fun with that. Shout out to everyone that tuned in that did, and hopefully, that's the start of, again, more and more to come. But we got to cast these 2 series here. VGJ took on CDEC. VGJ, of course, the new Jeremy Lin captain team, or the founder of the team, whatever you want to say, the NBA basketball player that is. This is kind of his team, and an all-star team that he put together, and man, they looked good. They went 2-0 against CDEC, and it frankly was not even close. Both games were absolute stomps, really. You see about a 23-minute victory and a 24-minute victory in both games, and again, it wasn't even close. They were clearly the better team. We got to see ROTK playing some Underlord. That was so fun to watch. He played it so well. And so they advance on to the main event, the $300,000 tournament here that takes place in later February. Down here we have the Invictus Gaming teams going at it. IG Vitality ended up taking out IG 2-1 in this best of 3. And now this was a grind, as you can see, when it came to the game lengths. This series was much different in terms of very, very well fought by both teams. And really every single game, it could have gone either way. But in the end, and especially that game 3, IG actually, I think at a point they were upwards of 10,000 net worth, and it had to be maybe 30 minutes into the game or so. They're in the Life Stealer, and he is getting great farm. Their Ember Spirit was leveled up, getting great farm. But even in the end, even with that advantage, they actually threw a couple of fights, and Sven actually on the IG Vitality side got some big crits and fights, and ended up pulling through. So Vitality yet again takes out IG. And another kind of big land here because, again, similar thing happened to the Boston Major, I believe. I don't know if they knocked them out necessarily, but IG Vitality made it, whereas IG did not. So what's considered to be this quote-unquote younger team of the organization is actually faring a little bit better so far in these recent events. But IG Vitality and VGJ, the teams that advanced on, you see all these teams that participated, of course, in the Chinese qualifiers, only coming down to those 2. So you look at the main event portion, so you got them in there now. Wings Gaming is the other team so far that's been invited. They have not announced another invite team. Something tells me, I wouldn't be surprised if it's, I don't know what to expect, frankly. I don't know if they're going to wait for the qualifiers to finish and then invite a team that maybe didn't make it through the qualifiers. That could possibly be what happens at this point, but it's kind of like a second chance, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. So that's the Chinese region. Now, the European region actually recently kicked off as well, so they still got many matches to play, but now the European region happening, and you look at some matches that have took place so far. So this is the Phase 2 what they're in. It goes into a Phase 3, which is a group stage, and I'm not exactly sure what happens from this. Is the top team of the group stage is the one that advances on? Is that how this works? One best, top 2 qualifying team. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be the top 2 out of the groups. Interesting. So they're not even doing a playoff. The playoff actually happens prior to the groups to get the final 2 teams, it looks like. And then from the group stage, it's the top 2 of that advance on. So we're trying to find out the next 2 teams to join the group stages and complete it. Right now, Friends and Horde are in the semifinals of that. We got some more matches down here, and there's a couple things to talk about here, which we'll get in a little bit more. But Escape Gaming, I believe this is going to be the Escape Gaming, which, again, we'll get more into it. So they're not actually known as Escape Gaming anymore. I think this is still going to be them, though. But they just recently announced it's going to be Era, Quickfoot, Cinderin, and actually they picked up Trixie and Hani. Talk about some old-school Fnatic coming at us. That is exciting, and can't wait to see how they do. They match up against Vega Squadron. And then Cloud9, that's right, the Cloud9, formerly known as Danish Bears, and even before that, Imperial. I guess they were known as Danish Bears before that. But anyways, point is, the former Imperial Danish Bears team, they finally announced to pick up a Cloud9. We'd been waiting for this for a while. It was pretty much expected, but it just took a while to actually get out there. But it's going to be Cloud9 going up against Digital Company, and I'm actually trying to find this Digital Company team. Okay, to be decided. So I'm not too familiar with this Digital Company team. Looks like they were an open qualifier team. Well, got to figure Cloud9 is going to be the favorites there. But yeah, I think Escape Gaming, especially with this new roster, I'm really excited to see how they do. I hope they make it to the group stages. Definitely possible out of this. All solid teams, of course, but it is very possible. Then you got the top portion again. Horde and Friends going to clash to see who moves on. Then that leads to the group stages. You got Secret, Adphenum, Virtus Pro, Liquid, Natus Finsair, and Alliance. Okay, Natus Finsair, Navi, I think is the easier way to say that. This is a great good. This is going to be a really good event, man. So many people are going to be hyped for this for good reason. Again, talk about one of the first big tournaments post 7.0. This is going to be one of those. I know it's only a qualifier, but no doubt we're going to learn a lot here. And I actually like the idea that they're making it a group stage lead into the top 2 teams qualifying. So it's going to make all those matches so important for these teams. Is there favorites? I mean, Adphenum, Virtus Pro, maybe off the top of my head would have to be the favorites, but who knows, right? I mean, anything can happen when it comes down to it, and especially these group stages playing everyone. So we'll see which 2 teams join them and then how that plays out. And when it's going to be happening, I don't know if it's actually okay, so January 24th is when it starts. Okay, there you go. It starts later on in the month. That is fun. And I think that's it for the qualifiers so far. Okay, actually the American Regional looks like they do got information on it now. They hadn't had information before, but pull that up real quickly. Okay, so the American qualifiers is also set up. Now, again, they're also not going to be starting, so it looks like both Europe and America are going to continue on January 24th when their group stage format starts, and then the top 2 teams, just like the European region, will advance on to the main event. So you got Complexity, Digital Chaos, Infamous, Team NP, Team Onyx, Doo-Wop, Team Freedom, and Team Dialcom. Interesting there. What are these teams like? Open qualifier. So Dialcom was an open qualifier team. A little bit surprised to see Onyx as an invite team. To be very, very frank, whenever a new team is formed like this, I'm always a little bit like, really? Do they deserve an invite? But at the same time, probably worthy in the end. So it's not like that surprising. But you got Team Dialcom here. It looks like they're a team. What would that be? Peru? Yeah, they're from Peru over there. Freedom, I'm excited to see. Now, this is going to be Freedom's chance to really make a name for themselves. This has been an up-and-coming team for a while now in the North American scene. I've gotten the chance to watch them. Them and Doo-Wop really is kind of a similar story. They really try to break onto the Tier 1 echelon of North American teams. So this is going to be a chance to prove that, right? I mean, with teams like Complexity, DCNP, no doubt it's going to be a chance for them. And I'm noticing that EG is not in this. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that EG is going to be the other invite team, and maybe they're just waiting to figure out details on that with them. But EG probably would be the second invited team. I mean, there's no way EG doesn't make this event, right? Like, they're not gonna set it up so they can't make this event. Or maybe it'll be the new Peter Pan Dam team. No, probably not. Southeast Asia looks like same story, so real quickly glancing over that. Southeast Asia also set up and going to be good to go for their qualifiers as you got the 8 teams there. Of course, there's a new Fnatic here. You got Faceless. It's going to be fun to see how they bounce back after a very disappointing Boston Major. MVP Phoenix, who the hell knows who's going to be on that roster? They've just completely been gutted Dubu. I'm blanking on the other names now, but let's actually click on them real quickly. What do we got? Yeah, Dubu, Forev, QO, Febby, no longer a part of the team. So right now it's Velo is the only remaining player, and then they got Ryzen as a sub, it looks like. So they have some things to figure out with their team, but they got a little bit of time. It's the same story here, I assume. Oh, no, it's actually starting a little bit sooner, January 16th. So in about 10 days from today, when this is going to take place. But in other cases, it's going to be fun. So really, these next January is going to be a fun time with all these qualifiers happening. Kind of recycling now as new qualifiers with big events coming up. So that is what we have to look forward to. So the Star Ladder I-League Star Series. I've found that to be they really should work on that name. Star Ladder I-League Star Series. I feel like they could make something a little bit shorter, a little easier to say. Anyways, that tournament, the qualifier, is going to be taking place throughout the later month here, and ultimately to qualify for that $300,000 tournament that'll be taking place in Shanghai, China, it looks like, in the later part of February. So there's that. That's really it for tournament results and what's upcoming with tournaments and stuff. As far as there's been some roster information, again, I'm trying to keep in mind this is only for really these last couple of days, so I don't want to talk about too much here, but this was literally just announced this morning, actually, so this definitely fits. Escape Gaming is no longer a thing, at least with the former team. Again, they were Cinderin, Koikva, and Era. Obviously, Keizu and Yamate, or what was his name? It was... did I get that right? Yapsters. It was Yapsters. I had a wrong player. Anyways, Keizu and Yapsters, they had left. Yapsters on Bears, and then Keizu on Team Secret now, of course. But they've been looking for a couple of new players, apparently, for a little bit. They did just announce that they left Escape Gaming. And then, lo and behold, they also announced that they are picking up their 2 new players, and they're officially good to go with the roster. You see right here, these are the 5. Hani and Trixie joining the bunch. They don't really have a team name from my understanding, but Hani and Trixie joining the team, and they are going to be the 2 new players. Holy crap. Talk about a blast from the past, ladies and gentlemen. That is exciting. Hani and Trixie joining this team, and that's going to be a lot of fun to see how they do. Talk about, somewhat old-school Fnatic lineup here, of course. I've already seen No-Tail and Fly tweet out about it as well. Say, like, oh, it brings back so many memories, but, good lucks and everything. So this is going to be – this team just jumped right to the top of my list as far as teams that I personally am excited to watch coming up right here. So that was just announced as of today. Really excited for that. There's a couple other roster situations, and I'll just pull up this whole site. We could go over real quickly. Of course, we're looking at this one interesting. FDL picking up a new team. Of course, they dropped the previous one, but now you look at Mad CCNC, Stanking, Sick. And wait, Sick? What? No. Sick is joining an American team? That can't be right. That has to be wrong. What? Am I missing something here? Is this the Sick, the one from China? This is a different Sick. It is a different Sick. Okay, I was missing something. That is a different Sick completely. Wow, I had to really process that right there on what the hell was going on. But that is a different Sick. Okay, I guess he's maybe just a newer player on the scene. I don't really know. There's nothing on Wikipedia about him. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Never mind. Whew, okay, we're good to go. Anyways, their 5th player also joining them is Justin, as we see here. Of course, formerly of Complexity for a while ago now. He had those issues there with the team. Eventually left the team or got kicked, whatever you want to say. But now he's found a new home with this FDL roster. So that'll be fun to see how they perform and, look in the North American scene. But talk about the North American scene, man. It's getting bigger and better. You got the new PPD team. You got Team Onyx just recently announced. You got this new FDL team now. You got teams like Freedom and Duop up and coming. The North American Dota 2 scene is really, really good moving forward, in my opinion, at least. Other than that, not a whole lot of crazy stuff going on. You take some glances here, and yeah, not nothing too crazy. So There you go. That's a daily recap, ladies and gentlemen. We kept this a little under 20 minutes here at least. So, like I said, there was plenty to go over. So, not surprising it's a little bit longer here. But again, I wanted to be able to stream today, but just with the timing, by the time I started streaming, I was only going to be able to be on for maybe like an hour. It just wasn't worth it. But I did want to at least do my daily recap, and obviously I got that done here. So, I hope you guys enjoy this for today. One other piece of news I actually do want to announce here. And, I want to make it clear that this isn't me being lazy and not streaming and everything. A little bit that I was working on yesterday and have been working on for a while, but I have some fun things coming up. One of the big things that I've talked about as far as what I want to do in this new year is taking it upon myself to do a lot of content creation. Content creation is a big thing that I think I could be both good at and also to help keep me busy and keep me very active in the scene and everything. So not only simple things like this daily recap, I feel like is just a fun, easy way to do content creation, but I have some ideas and some things that are in motion, including a podcast. I'm going to be debuting a new podcast right now. Should I give the date? It is coming up. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. This Monday, ladies and gentlemen, this Monday, January 9th, at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, what would that be? 2100 Central European Time, I believe. I'm going to be kicking off my first podcast show, what I'm calling the Breakdown with BreakyCPK. How classic, right? It rings so well, I know. But I'm really excited for it, guys. Now, it's not going to be like the craziest production or anything like that. It's simply put, I've always wanted to do kind of a podcast show. I've always been a fan of sports radio shows and stuff, and it's going to kind of be themed around that idea, somewhat of a mix of a casual, but also getting information out there, having some discussions. It's mainly going to be a solo show for the most part, but I do plan to have on guests here and there. And actually, I will say this too. I'm not going to announce the name just yet, but I do have a very special guest that's no doubt going to be exciting to have on, and I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in it. I will be having a guest on my first show here on this Monday that you're going to definitely want to tune in and see what he has to say about things that have been happening recently. So I'll just tease you with that. Anyways, guys, more information to come on that. I'll post on my blog about it as well. But again, it's going to be happening this Monday, and on Monday I plan to, probably Sunday, I'll get some information out there on Reddit and everything on the social media and go from there. But that's the plan. Now let's hope it actually comes through. I am waiting on a couple of things, so I'm not going to say it's 110% by any means going to be happening that time, that day, and everything, but that is the plan. That's when I want to launch it all. But, at the very least, I do want to make a point that that is in the works, and I'm excited to kick that off. So thanks again for tuning into the Daily Recap. Can't wait to see you guys on Monday for that, as well as more streaming in general. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy ESL Genting, and I'll see you on the next one, guys.